Am I live? Is it happening? Hold on. Freezing up. It's a little glitchy. Okay. Looks like the glitch left. Looks like the glitch left. All right. I'm not glitchy anymore. No, I'm moving. I was a little bit glitchy and frozen there for a moment, but I came back. I'm alive. I'm alive. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Candace. Hoping everybody is wonderful out there and in the world. So I'm going to go there. I'm just throwing that up there. So good morning. Just throwing up Instagram to see what'll happen. So last night, first of all, I'll do an introduction for those who watch the replay. Here I am. I am Mary June Tracy, and I'm an astrologer, guide, spiritual guide, coming to help you to connect with as above, so below as you go along your journey and help you to land in a place in amongst the world of chaos. Did anyone find the weekend weird? I felt like I was underwater, the energy thick. I was at an expo in Vermilion, and Vermilion is just east of Edmonton. So it was good. It was a good little market. Not as busy as usual. The energies were, because I was in the middle of a market, I didn't I was in my own world per se. Last night I did the ghost walk, and I'm going to do another ghost walk in 2 weeks. I'm going to do another one. It was good. It was okay. I mean, the energies were, I could feel like there's a lot of transitioning happening. I could feel that there's a lot of shifts that are going on and things that are happening, and a push. And I mean, that goes with the astrology, because we got Venus and Jupiter that are going to be conjunct this week. So there's quite a push right now, a lot of energy pushing that's happening. The moon went from Aquarius into Pisces, and that's where the moon is today. That would definitely, have a lot to do with the feeling a little bit of wateriness and that's going over. Plus, you got a lot happening at your heaven that's bringing in some transition and changes too. So, just the world around us just going a little bit crazy. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if there's something around my boy or in my house. Oh, could be. There's a lot of there's a lot of activity. Even when we walked around in Bridgeland last night, and because of all the rain and the activity of the rain, and there's a lot of, and that's what I noticed last night, construction. Okay. Of course, there's always construction as the spring and summer come up, but that causes things to get shifted around. So if you're around a lot of construction, if there's a lot of construction around your area, then I'd start really taking a close look to the energy shifts that are happening and that are coming in. I know here I'm constantly sort of putting up my little protection energy and blessings and stuff, because of the amount of construction that is going on in the area, and people have to be aware of it. Most people aren't. It's tearing down old buildings, old sites that they just don't want around anymore. And that's and it's interesting to watch, you know. And it's interesting to see when these things are happening, because they don't want to have a lot of it's like tearing down the old world. So you're a lot of these older places or constructions that are going on. It could be in the city, it could be in and around. It might not necessarily be directly in your neighborhood, because you got to understand the land and as it spreads and everything else. That wanting to let go, or not let go, just take away a lot of the old places. Some they'll keep as sort of relics or stuff, and that's what we found last night on our little journey. We found that there's a Lutheran church, and some of the stained glass windows were kind of like boarded up or cemented up because they didn't replace some of them. Of course, the bell was not. You could see the bell tower, right? And the bell was not there. They've taken the bells out. And in most of the, I mean, to find a church with the bells is very rare nowadays. But that energy, changing that energy. Now the church said it was there, built in 40 something, but there was a church. I feel like there was a church there before. There must have been something there before that church, and then the rectory that was built beside it was built in the 70s. There's also the old firehouse that we went by, which is now a house, number 4 fire hall. That's there in Bridgeland. They're starting to call it Riverside, which was quite interesting. So we saw, there's so much there that, there it's like almost like to try and keep these iconic ones, but then getting rid of a lot of the older houses, and some people are really trying to keep them. We saw a lot of homes with solar panels on them and having the solar panels, which is very interesting to see. So there's a lot, especially in Bridgeland, I think we saw, and they're all on older homes. So they weren't on the newer ones. So a lot of the older homes. But yeah, it's this change that they're trying to bring forth, because the new houses are going to bring in the part of the new infrastructure, the new electricity, smart meters, things like that are all going to be in there, because they're wanting to upgrade the grid, upgrade what is happening. And they're doing it with a lot of these newer homes that are coming in. Of course, less over wires over top, wiring down into the ground. So neighborhoods don't have, like ours has, the electrical pole in the back alley, and the lines and everything. And they're trying to get rid of all of those lines. So that's interesting as well. So a lot of changes within the grid, a lot of changes within the energies that are coming in and around over the next several years, and bringing those changes around. We are in such a energy of flux, and I feel like, being in this energy of flux, right? And yeah, hearing the bells is wonderful. Oh, I love hearing the trains. I love hearing when the train's coming in and they blow their whistle. I really do. I have a fascination with trains, not to a point where I have a bunch of trains, like models and stuff, but just to hear the trains, to watch a train, yeah, I think that's just so, so cool. And hearing bells, I mean, some places still do have the bells, and when you do hear them, it's very magical. And bells were sounded for so many different reasons, right? Not only to call people to church, but for celebration, and for when somebody died, or when um like something's happening, right? There was when a bell rang a certain way, everybody knew, okay, something's up, we got to get together, kind of thing, right? So there was such a symbolism with it. And bells clearing, like when you clear a home and stuff, I like to ring a bell, because a bell really clears the energy. It helps, to let go of what no longer, is needed there. If you go to a high mass in a Catholic church, they always have bells. If you go to a funeral mass, especially whether, well, that's also in the Anglican church, Lutheran church, and Catholic church, they do use the bells during mass. And some places are starting to really bring that back, because it clears the energy, right? So clearing that, it's not just to tell people when to bow their head and stuff, it's clearing energy. And that's what the bells do. And I feel a lot of that, of course, they're, with sacred geometry that some of the churches were built upon, is kind of like being hid. In old churches or cathedrals, like in France, there is always a labyrinth, right? that was in these churches for meditation, and then came in and is like, "Oh, that's pagan, we gotta cover it up." And some of them are being uncovered right now, as they're doing some restorations to some of these old churches. The other thing too is that they're burning churches. Like, I think that's just horrific that all of these churches are being built are being burnt. I think some of it is, definitely a certain people burning them down. Some of it I think is kind of plotted for churches to be burnt down. Churches are a place of gathering, a place of connection, whether you are religious or not, right? And coming into that connection and community. And I think that's important for people to really look at. And sure, you can have a community hall, but community halls I don't know. Community halls, yeah. I mean, at community halls, you do have like different things that you have meetup groups that go there. You might have a gardening club, senior club, a kids' daycare, after school care. Some have where you have pickup where you can do different pickups where locals can come in with and you can pre-order your veggies and things like that. Flea markets, other types of markets can be within there too in bringing in the community. But there's something about the church and the energies of the church. We went by one church last night and it was some kind of temple. Yeah, some kind of temple. It was a Christian church. Very interested. In one of the doors in the back, they painted a red cross, a bright red cross. Like this is a Christian church, but there's just something about it. I think it was I should have taken a picture of it. An Ethiopian or a Somalian, I think, a Somalian, because I've seen people like all like so white gauze kind of thing there coming out of the church. And I will on the next walk. I'm going to take some pictures. It just there was some weird energy coming in from it. Something about negotiation or negotiations happening and stuff like that. Some houses, beautiful. You walk by them and they were just beautiful. They just had you could feel the energies coming from them, little homes that, had maybe 1 or 2 sorry, my YouTube keeps glitching. 1 or 2, rooms or maybe 1 bedroom kinda homes. They're just really cute, but well kept up, well maintained. So you see, especially in that area, there's sort of like a revitalization of it. There is, an old school we went by, and it was like, oh, it was pretty it was a We Taught daycare or something, but it doesn't hold very positive I wouldn't wanna put my kids in that daycare. It just, yeah, it just felt weird. It was an older school, it was definitely built in the early 1900s. It wasn't one of the sandstone homes because of the different brick of the bricks, but it was definitely bricks from the 1900s. But just the way that, the bars were on the windows, and it just held a lot of energy still in that home. So we also went to where the old hospital was built in 1910. It was, torn down in 1998, and it's a field now. It's a field. So there's this field now where the old hospital was, and we had pendulums and stuff like that. We could really feel as you got more into the center, you could really feel the change in energies and the change how things sort of felt very heavy. And then we went to the wall, which I believe it was the wall that was a part of the old hospital. And I had everybody touch it, of course. And some people had their heart racing, headaches, and just feeling a little bit dizzy. It was quite, you could feel that heaviness because of the hospital. One of the guys that was there, he was born in that hospital. I thought that was cool. Uh, I had another person who's had I think it was their mother or their aunt or somebody died in that hospital that they know of. So the hospital holds a lot of memory for people, and even though it's no longer there. So interesting. all of these new apartments and everything that are built around there, the condos, they're quite high-end condos, very expensive condos. The influx or the energies that are moving into this area, there's a lot of, I'm going to say a lot of Somalians that are moving in to this area. So it's Bridgeland is an area where it used to be Germantown, a lot of German, Russians, Ukrainians moved in there to Italian. Everybody knows it as the Italian area. And now it's the diversity is coming in, but there's a quite um, a large population, a larger population of Somalians moving into that area, which I find very interesting. Lots of churches. I mean, you have not only the Lutheran church, there was another, can't remember what the church was called, but it was more of a Russian church. You have a Buddhist, you have the Somalian church, and then there's some kind of weird little mosque that's there. You also have the Hare Krishnas that are across the street. There is a Catholic church as you're going up Edmonton Trail, and it's an Asian Chinese church. It's quite funny. And then you have the Ukrainian Orthodox Church that is there as well. So there's quite a diverse amount of religions in a small area. And in that area, plus you have a lot of, where this was before it became part of Calgary, it was what was it? It was Germantown, and then you have a high population of prostitution, and that's where a lot of prostitutes and that were there. I was just telling Jared, I'm glad we didn't buy the house that was next to the graveyard. Oh, but why? But why? It would have been so much fun. You know? And it's interesting, even, they have graveyard tours here in Calgary. There's one girl who goes through the old graveyard that is down by Stampede, right? And that's the other place I would like to do is do a walk in and around on the outside of the Stampede grounds. That would be very cool because there's and then going or even going on to the other side of Ramsey. That would be quite a long walk. I don't know if I could do it, but work my way up to it. That would be very cool. And go to the old ruins. The old ruins are at the back of 12th Avenue. And the old ruins are just on the outside of the Stampede. And those are where the tuberculosis hospital was one of the very old hospitals that were built. So interesting history. And you got and just as when you look at things that were going on or different things that were going on in the world, and you think about the 1880s were the Gilded Age. So there was a lot of money that was around at that time, a lot of new inventions that were happening at that time. It was really a time of things booming, a gold rush and new sort of inventions, lights, electricity were coming in. Some places, having where windows became larger, right? They weren't little windows, right? Because nobody could afford it, but new windows were coming in. And a lot of these stained glass windows that are in some of the older churches in Calgary are from Tiffany. They're Tiffany glass, glass that was ordered in and brought in. So really interesting history that's there. So I'm going to be doing another one in 2 weeks, and the more I do it, the more information comes through and more things pop up for me. So I'm just yeah. So I'm gonna do another one in 2 weeks, and I might have some new people because they saw us doing the pendulums and they wanted to know what we were doing, and it was funny because it was a young man from the Philippines, and it was an interesting combo. So, anyways, so if you want to join me in 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing another one, and then I think Cynthia and I have a little thing that we want to do together as well. So that's going to be coming up. I can't film it, okay, people. It's just too difficult for me to be filming and trying to talk to people and things like that. If I'm doing it on my own, if I'm just walking around, which I might do, I might take a bus to an area and just walk around an area and do a convo, right? And that I can do on my own. But if I'm with a group, um, unless I have somebody who's going to be my to do the filming for me, cool. But for me to do it on my own, I can't. So I'm going to do probably I'm going to get out and about and start taking a bus to different areas and then just do a walkabout and then film it from there. I don't have any paraphernalia. It's just me. I'm the paraphernalia. I don't have a spirit box or I don't have anything like that. It would be cool to have, to do that. But maybe that'll come in time. Maybe that's part of the direction I'm going into, right? Old lady, old lady ghost tours. Come walk with the old lady. Um, and maybe that's, that could come in time. Or if people want to donate or if somebody else has one, they could bring it along. That would be absolutely cool. But basically I'm the spirit box and just going by what I feel and what I, pick up from things. There is another thing there. There's an old church that is been converted to a house, but I don't think they're taking care of it. I was thinking a spirit box would freak me out, even though it comes through me. Yeah, but it's different when it's like you have the spirit box and then they talk. It's like, oh, bell, like having, do you know the bells that are usually, well, a bell that's at a desk to ring for somebody. Those those work really well if you're doing sort of a ghost hunt in a house. I've noticed that it's just easier for them than say the cat balls and stuff like that. So those are kind of interesting as well. So yeah, so lots of different things that were happening last night. A lot of things were going on. Totally enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. The other thing, I'm doing new moon readings. So if anybody is interested in a new moon readings, they're going to be coming out this week. I'm doing what do you yeah, I got new moon readings coming up. So I have a few that people who've already ordered, but if you're wanting to order them, they're $60. Or you can get a subscription and get them twice a month, and that's $44. And the links in the bio, wherever the bio, or just DM me if you want to order or sign up for a subscription. So having those coming up, and we got a new moon that's going to be coming up on Sunday in Gemini. So have that's going on. My lunar scrapbooking class for Saturday has been canceled. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to create it and people can download it for $22. So I'm going to have the lunar scrapbook so that people can download it and um, create it themselves and upload it onto Canva, and you'll have it. You can reuse it however often as you want. So I'll be having that, and that's going to be coming out probably later on this week. So a lot of things coming, a lot of things changing, and it's like going with, as I say, this energy. It's going with the green flag and not the red flag, which happens quite often. This Venus Jupiter is something that's coming up, and I think it's definitely going to be looked at pretty heavily over the next couple of days, because tomorrow we see the exact conjunction. So today, with the moon finishing up in Pisces and squaring over to the sun, so we have the first quarter square that's coming in, and then we also, and it can make us feel like it's like a merry-go-round or a circus. So where are you going? What directions are you heading? And simple solutions are going to be the answer. And this is about staying with the facts is important, because we are also having a Mercury square Saturn. And a Mercury squared Saturn, thank you, my love, is keeping to the facts. Saturn wants the facts. Saturn doesn't want a lot of fluff. So if you're bringing a lot of fluff into things, it ain't going to work. And with the mix with the Pisces moon, with the Gemini energy, everything can feel scattered. And you can just go off in so many different directions, right? So keeping to the facts, keeping to the grounding, because that's what Saturn wants. Saturn and Aries, give me the facts instead of having things all blow up all over the place, right? And that is very important. The 9th is meant to be a big, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's tomorrow. So this is, with that conjunction happening with Saturn and Jupiter, or Saturn, Venus, or not Saturn, Jupiter, please. I've had enough of that. With Venus and Saturn is really a big one. Now, a lot of psychics and that will be like, oh, it's all about love and all. No, it's all about direction and being true to who you are. That's what this is. And Uranus and Gemini is squaring the notes, so making things feel like I wasn't expecting this, or I thought this would happen and now it isn't. So it's a sensitive Pisces moon. Mercury squares Saturn, especially with the Mercury in Cancer and Saturn in Aries. It can become very easy to fall into the trap of thinking this looks bad. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can, become this. It's our ideas, it's our thoughts, it's our temperament, especially our attitudes and our thought process. So today's kind of like a big test. Lots of things going on, big tests going on, because there's a big door. I feel like things are opening up. And with the Venus conjunct Jupiter, it's about, opportunities in Cancer, whether it's about home, where you belong, where you feel safe, or what kind of comforts you want in life. Part of the process is overcoming discomfort of difficult things. Some situations we can find solutions, some we can't. That's going to be hard for people because they want to have a solution for things. They want to know, you know, but there isn't one that we are able to get at this time or see at this time. And sometimes we simply have to give it to God. Give it up to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle. North Node is in Pisces, and perhaps Uranus and Gemini finds the solution through spirit. This is really trusting in God, putting that faith in God. And that's where a lot of this energy is coming in. It's like saying, why are you making your priority all of this instead of making your priority God? Right? And that's, painting a wall, I think would be great. I just got a text from my daughter. She wants me to paint some doors with her. We'll see. I have an appointment at 11. So this energy, this transformation, these changes are coming forth and getting us to make those changes. And it's important that we look at the changes that we want to make in our lives and let go of what no longer works for us. No matter how sure you are about something right now, there still might be a block around it. Do I execute this or not? Or maybe it's comes down to putting it on paper. Write down the pros, write down the cons, weigh them out. Because with all of this mutable energy, and especially if you're a fixed energy or you're a cardinal sign, the sensitivities that arise. And we have to remember that by the end of the day, the moon in Pisces trines Venus and Jupiter, even though it squares the sun and Mercury. These tensions are preparing us the bigger transit, which is coming in tomorrow. And it's almost as if the universe is showing the red flag before the door opens, or it's showing us the green flag, and that's the all clear. If it's something in the middle or you're not getting clarity on it, maybe take more time. Take a step back. Follow the most basic procedures. Follow the facts. Make it simple. Stay simple. As my mother says, make it simple, stupid. But I know that's not appropriate to say to people. But remember, expectations are not green. They're not the true openings. There's a difference between expecting something and actually seeing a confirmation. So we're going to be learning how quickly things can make sense and how suddenly life can go quantum. But when things don't connect, maybe the next question is, what do I do next? Maybe it's simple. That's not connecting. That's not it. You know, it's it doesn't have to become a dramatic ceremony. It doesn't have to become another story about something not working in your life or a job or a relationship or a situation. Get the fuck out of drama and make it simple. And so many people are wanting the drama, right? And they want to stay in the drama and the chaos. No, come over here. Trust me, it doesn't help you. Keep embodying the authentic version of yourself and let the unpredictable happen. Uranus is going to make it happen whether you like it or not, and that's what he does. And because we have a lot of quantum energy right now, how we deal with it is more important than forcing the outcome. Allow yourself to be okay. If things don't fully connect yet, leave the room for what is meant to come, right? I got the Two of Pentacles. So it's about stay simple, stay present, follow the facts, let the deeper answers reveal themselves. Don't overthink things, right? That's the thing. When we start to overthink, that's when we start getting into trouble. And right now, there's a lot of people overthinking things, you know. So a lot of information is going to come up. The a little thing that just came up, and I thought it was quite interesting. Um, let's see, where is it? What just happened? Go down on my go. It's on my history. So the missing scientist story just got a little bit darker. The one missing scientist just happened to show up again, which was quite interesting. So, and that was Melissa Casey, who just was discovered outside of um, Dow's New Mexico of the national park by a hiker. So her body was just found with a gun, with a handgun, which was weird. Um, so her body, you're going to find that some of these scientists are going to start appearing because of and some excuse or something that's going to go about it. So a lot of that type of information is going to come out. It's going to get people to question even more. She was working on a new device that frequency that has you move in and out of different dimensions. Yeah, exactly. They're going to say that she probably killed herself, but she disappeared in front of her friends. Like they were just talking to her and talking about something, and then turned around and she was gone. So there's going to be crazy things that are going to appear, and information like that is going to come up. Um, we're not going to get the clear facts and some. Here's an alien. Here's John, the alien. I just named him John for whatever reason. This is John. He's from Cirrus 2.75 XYZT. And he comes in and out, and he's just part of our crew kind of thing. Oh, but then you're going to have things that are coming out where the ones that people think are crazy conspiracy guys, um, they're going to come up with more of the facts and the truth, right? And showing things that are going on, or showing some of the I think a lot of ancient wisdom coming forth. So a lot of the ancient wisdom coming forth that we have dismissed for a very long time. So we're going to have a lot of information that's going to be revealed to us. So I find that really interesting to see how that's going to play out and everything. But definitely a lot more of the missing scientists showing up dead for whatever reason. It's just something that's there like everything else, and I've seen that people think are fake. Yeah, I mean, I just, there's who is it? Tarot Wisdom? Hmm. Anyway, one guy I follow, but he went to some of the pagan sites in Germany. They don't talk about them very much. You don't hear a lot of people talk, but there's one that it's kind of like I guess it's kind of like a coffin, but and it's all built out of granite and quartz, and it looks like a place where people would lay in it. He laid in it actually, and he could feel the difference of the energies going in it, and it was like at the time it was because it's very alien looking, this pagan site, like all of the way the hieroglyphics are and everything else. So, very similar to that of not exactly like Egypt, but he said it felt like you know, when it was all hooked up, this is where it like people would receive information or get information from. And he also felt like he could feel like things he could feel like almost like as he laid there, and he's a big guy, of something aligning him and realigning him. He says it's quite cool. So I feel like some information about healing, cleansing, that type of information coming through, not going to be accepted by the mainstream media, obviously, but I feel like a lot of that type of energy coming in for people as well. So I think that's very cool. Yeah. So let's just, open our arms to something new and inventive and healing for people to help them to align and feel more at peace in a crazy, chaotic world. Anyways, I got my breakfast. I'm going to go eat my breakfast. I'm going to send you out such positive love and light. And may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. And all you say and all you be and all you do. Thanks for being a part of my community. You want a new moon reading? Definitely get a hold of me. Links in the bio. Links in the bio. It's so much fun when they align things. My guides ground me. Yes, I want the alignment. I overdid it this weekend. I know I did. I have one reading, and then I'm probably just gonna, well, probably not chill, but do a little bit of chilling. So blessings to you all. We'll talk to you soon. You know how to get a hold of me. Bye bye.